I'm Cathy Middleton. I'm a family law attorney with over 20 years experience in the area of matrimonial and family court work. My message to families really is that we have to find a way to get fathers and mothers to work together for the benefit of their children without utilizing the system, meaning the family court itself and the Office of Child Support Enforcement, as a means to destroy each other.
UrbanJali.
Right now, what I'm seeing in my over 20 years experience in practicing family law is that I have a lot of cases where men are being saddled with child support, and the child support is not based upon the fact that they are not being responsible for their children financially. It's being used as a punishment, a tool to punish a man because he's ended a relationship. I've also seen on the other end situations where some fathers don't recognize the astronomical cost that's involved in raising a child. So what I want to do is to provide people with as much information as they possibly can have so that they can begin to walk down the road together and resolve issues of child support, issues of visitation, parenting time, all those things that are housed in what we call the family court system on their own. That they can take charge of their own lives and one day not need to utilize people like me, family law attorneys, to help them resolve their problems, not bring their problems to places like judges so judges can make decisions for them, but they can empower themselves to make decisions for themselves that work for the benefit of fathers, mothers, and children. When you let the court system make those decisions for you, you automatically fall into a situation where there's misunderstanding. It's built into the equation. There's going to be misunderstanding. There's going to be orders that are put into place that don't look at the realistic financial picture of a man. There are often orders that are put into place that doesn't take into account the fact that the mother may need additional resources in one area, say for example, after school expenses, but not necessarily in regards to basic child support itself. So the system only goes so far in terms of addressing the needs of individuals. Individuals, however, can go farther in addressing their needs. So it's really important that we bring mothers and fathers together holistically.
Ideally before they get to the courts.
Ideally before they get to court. We have a court system where it's inundated, backed up, thousands of cases going through there a day, and most of the people look like me. That tells you that there's something going on in terms of how we are functioning with regard to our families, the Black family itself. And we need to get back to the drawing board of understanding that fathers are not the enemies of mothers. Mothers are not the enemies of fathers. Children are not a burden, they're a blessing. If we can come to that understanding, we will be able to resolve our problems without ever darkening the doorstep of anybody's family court system.
Do you have an opinion on if racism is evident in child support or family court?
I think, in all honesty, the family court system and child support enforcement itself was built on the foundation of racism, just as this nation is built on the foundation of racism. If you go back to when it was that this system was started, it was started as we began as a nation to view public assistance as something that was a Black thing, and it was about Black people. This was the whole narrative around it, that Black mothers were trying to get something for nothing, and Black fathers were allowing their children to be taken care of by the government instead of standing up and being responsible for their children. And this is a narrative. This is not the truth. This is just a narrative that people put around public assistance. And what happened was you had the backlash, as there often is with racism. And with this backlash came the notion of, well, the government needs to do something to make fathers responsible for their children. We need to make Black men step up and be the fathers they're supposed to be. We need to make Black women stand up and not use this system as a way, as a substitution for a husband. They need to get married. If they're not going to be married, what we're going to do is we're going to have a system in place that's built around punishment, punitive measures, so that men can be incarcerated, non-custodial parents, but really it's usually men, can be incarcerated for debt, even though constitutionally we do not have debtor's prison in this nation. The only incident in which we have debtor's prison in this nation is if you cannot pay child support. So it is foundationally, from its inception, built on the notion that Black families are a problem, Black families are toxic, that Black families are not together. And so we have to force Black fathers to be responsible for their children.
Impulsive, gritty, real, and unscripted, I capture the essence of magic for the sake of soulful upliftment. UrbanJali, a quest for the roots of inspiration. These are our stories.
On site.
Peace.